Hello and welcome to Markedoutwrestling Podcast. It is our New Year's Day edition. We are going to be reacting to primarily AEW Dynamite tonight because NXT had an award show. I do have two co-hosts in studio. One of them is nodding negatively at me already. That is the Angry Elf. What's up, Brody?
Hi. Hello. Hey. How are you? There I am. Hi. How you doing?
Oh, you told me you were on two.
This is another, but then we clarified later that I wasn't.
Okay.
And another edition of Adam Screws Up Tech. Good.
Brian.
Is it working? Hey! There we go.
Bionic Brian is the other
What's up, man?
host.
How you doing? Hey, and this is episode 463.
463.
For the record.
All right. I didn't say it incorrectly, but I'm glad you clarified. Rody, you want to tell us who the lieutenants are on the YouTube live chat board?
Amongst the millions and millions joining us live, we have some of our high-profile lieutenants being Bang Bus. Soji is doing it. Psych Leather is here saying hello from New York. And Jason Sklenar is there as well.
Wow, you said his name right.
Sklenar. Damn it, I thought Sklenar was the wrong way.
You can't even keep it straight in your head anymore.
So how in XL10?
That's Jay.
Is it Jay?
Jay.
Yeah, that's Jay.
What's up, Jay?
All right.
Hi, Jay.
All right, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically just run down the AEW card. At the end, we'll go over the award winners for NXT and discuss those. But I'm not going to do the normal Wednesday night side-by-side here. Who gives a shit that the first match of the year candidate and tag team of the year and male contender of the year win against the opening match on AEW? We don't give a shit to line this up. So this is going to be a little bit of a break from the norm, and we're going to focus on AEW tonight.
And the kind of Vice came in, too, by the way.
What's up, Vice?
Oh, let me just read this, because apparently this is a big deal that I'm reading the live board. Bang Bus says, the number one board hater, Rob, is reading the board tonight. Oh, dear.
Yeah, don't worry. I can see it as well.
Yeah, buckle up.
Yeah. We'll make sure it's, what is it, impartial, Brian? Is that what we're looking for?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he specifically requested to sit in that seat tonight. He said, no, I want that keyboard. I want to be talking to the ones on the board.
I want to be more helpful on Wednesday nights.
Yeah. You definitely did the...
That was the most...
insincere.
Yeah, come on, man. Well,
I meant it.
Say it again. Try it again.
It was like the end of Moxley's promo.
I am all in for an elite hour of wrestling conversation.
Oh.
What? Yeah, tonight pretty much is going to be the normal hour podcast, but it's going to be dedicated to All Elite just because NXT is...
It's almost like you'd call it an All Elite hour.
Right. Anyway, let's get it started. Brian and Rob are probably going to fight by the end of the show, but
me and Brian, we've been rocky the last couple of days. We're gonna.
Well, his views of wrestling have been pretty fucking eye-opening.
On point.
No. You know what the board always says about you and all your fucking crazy thoughts that you have.
You know how much I care.
Opinions. That's sad. I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Yeah. Hey, if you like this.
iTunes.
Let's start off the way AEW started off. They let us know that Taz is on commentary tonight. That is an excellent choice. Tony Schiavone absent, so we got JR, Excalibur, and Taz. Before we get into any of the matches, nothing but a thumbs up there. I mean, I love Taz. I was watching during the whole Taz and Cole era. He made Cole tolerable.
Yeah.
And they were a good counter to, at the time, you had Jerry and King on Raw. You had those two on SmackDown during the Heyman era.
Taz is another one of those he's great, but he needs to have a sidekick that can really get it, who can position him right.
Yeah, JR and Taz never worked right in WWE.
You don't think so?
That is my one knock. No, JR didn't know how to play with Taz right. No knock on Taz. I think Cole played with him perfectly.
Yeah.
They were good foils for each other.
Everyone was saying that he was going to be coming in and right away he was going to be some sort of authority figure, which I'm glad they didn't do that because
this is a perfect spot for him.
Yeah.
But the board was talking earlier about rotating out. Soji said they need Mike Tenay too.
Ooh.
Don't they already have Jeremy Borash
Borash is in NXT, brother.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I knew he was somewhere.
Soji wants to say real quick that AEW listened to me, Rob, about the women with that awesome four-way title match and possibly Britt Baker heel turn. So that happened tonight. We'll get there, I'm sure.
Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Oh, we will get there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no problems with Taz all around, basically, the board says. So we follow that up. Darby, a dark little vignette there, burning a photo of Cody's face And we find out, Rob had to find out in real time because he didn't know it, but Arn Anderson is now going to be the coach of Cody Rhodes.
I have so many problems with this opening segment. So many problems.
And then we go into the match, but go ahead.
Well, problem one is, as we've discussed before, here's Cody in another feud with somebody. Well, and to tag onto that, the other point is that it's with Darby Allin. Now, I don't go to follow all the Twitter feeds and watch The Dark on YouTube and all their other, Stitcher, Witcher, and Discord shows or whatever. I don't have time for that. I tend to see it as a TV program, so I try to keep up with the program. So if there's any backstory at all to Darby Allin and Cody right now beefing, I'm unaware of it, unless I was using the bathroom 2 weeks ago.
Well, it feels like they've abandoned the whole no friends thing and Darby coming there because clearly Cody is still with the All Elite. If there was any question, he came out tonight at the end. He came out last week at the end. I mean, Cody clearly has friends.
Well, he
hasn't said, I have no friends in a while. And now he also has a coach. So
he's still an EVP. He's still an EVP.
But let me get this.
But do you understand my point, Brian? He made a huge promo about how he's standing alone. And it feels like that promo should have been from Adam Page. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it feels weird. Rob's right. They fought. I can't remember if it was Fight for the Fallen or Fighter Fest, but Cody and Darby fought already.
Yeah,
once.
they had him. I mean, they were already built. I mean, they weren't trying to hide that. This is
what's the point of this match? Every other match has had a point to some degree.
Yeah, and if it's just a match, they just come to the ring. But Darby came to the ring with had a whole Cody segment with a picture and a mask and all that. Like that implies some kind of a grudge that he would go that extra mile to mock his opponent. But where was that story?
Berto's saying the story is that Darby just wanted a rematch from that match.
Yeah, but it seemed more personal than that. So
Darby's just a loose cannon.
Okay.
But he's right about the person. It made it seem more personal. I mean, he's burning a picture. There's a promo clearly devoted to this match.
So let me go to the third point here why I'm confused about this situation. And this goes to Arn Anderson. And again, I don't watch all the sidetrack shows. I expected they would tell the story on the TV program. But for me, Arn Anderson, which I love Arn Anderson, and him being a manager, I love the thought of that. I'm okay with that. Give him a fucking Heenan stable,
Yeah, it feels like all the horsemen are getting to be managers.
But then it's fine. Let them do their thing. The veterans should come back and do that. But for me, it's like we all love the movie Idiocracy, and there was a point in that movie that it made that the biggest blockbuster movie was just a picture of somebody's ass shaking, right? And at the end, he said that they started to wonder about whose ass is it and why was it there? And that's what I'm looking at AEW now with this and a lot of the story, but Arn Anderson specifically right now is there's the ass. I'm not saying Arn's an ass, but why is it there? What
do you watch UFC? Do you watch UFC?
UFC is a different. It's not a storyline driven.
No, but it's a sport, right? And the fighters hire coaches. So this makes total sense. They're trying to say that they're trying to make it legitimized.
But they could have done some kind of backstage segment, for the last couple of weeks, showing him in some kind of coaching capacity, helping him out or having some kind of drama where Cody was going down a road where he needed this to happen. And that way, that when I see it on TV or somebody sees it in a live audience, they can connect more to why he's there, not just, hey, why don't we put you on TV, Arn? You can be my manager.
He's fucking
with
Arn
no
Anderson. His family has worked with him for 30 fucking years.
That's fine, but it doesn't explain the story of it.
On the board, I was trying to get to this. Bang Bus, it's not a feud. Did Rob not watch when Cody was fighting Blade and Butcher? Darby literally said he'll be his partner only if he gets a rematch. So this was just Cody making good on that.
Yeah, but why did he?
That's a perfectly fine story.
Why did he make it into more of a personal? A personal. He with the mask at the beginning. That's more of a personal blood feud, right? When you mock somebody or come out there like you're targeting them, that makes it more personal. If he would have just came down like, I want my rematch, came down to the ring and wrestled.
Then so you're mad at him because he did too much?
I'm mad at him because the story conflicts, the way they present it conflicts with what it's been designed to be. If it's just about the rematch out of respect, I'll work with you if you give me my rematch because I think I deserve it. Great.
Okay.
Do that.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
But when you add in the vignette at the beginning, the little mini vignette of the mask, and then you had the guy come out with that seems more personal. It doesn't fit.
He's a dark guy, man. He's a dark character.
No, it's his character.
Fit.
Brian's got it. It's like it's simple. He's a dark guy.
If I said to Adam, I want a rematch on that the arm wrestling we did the other day when you beat me. I want a rematch on it. And he's like, cool. And before we actually start to, start the match, I spit in Adam's face.
Yeah, so
Adam would be like, why the fuck did you do that?
Trying to win.
We're just arm wrestling, bro.
Trying to win.
You know?
Yeah. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Board says, Anaconda Vice says, Rob, you're stretching, give up.
How am I stretching?
And Bus says it was personal because, remember, the first match ended in a time limit. Okay. So there was no winner.
I know, but it wasn't personal against Cody enough for him to do that in the
he's
story.
making it personal.
All right.
Some people need that to have to fucking fight.
I don't think it's a stretch. I think my gripe's legitimate, so whatever.
Now that we've talked about that, can we talk about the match? The match itself that was tonight.
Go ahead.
That's a really good one.
I thought it was a very good match. Now Stike is shitting on it a little bit, I think. He says to me the Darby and Cody match was almost a carbon copy of the Fyter Fest match. I don't know about that. I thought Soji's right. It's a good match. Cody made the new talent shine.
Well,
Darby this is a curtain jerk spot of the first match of the new year. First match of the decade, if you want to be all fucking crazy like everybody else.
Let's be fair here, though. I mean, if you want to talk about this being a carbon copy, of course it's going to be a carbon copy. And this is not a dig on Cody, but Cody is one of those wrestlers where if you've seen one Cody match, you've pretty much.
But you can say that about everybody.
You can say that the story has been different in many ways in his matches. It's been presented different. But as far as his in-ring set, his move set, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. That is pretty much a Cody match is a Cody match. You're going to see the same kind of moves. It's a
John Cena match is a John Cena.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a WWE formula, and I'm not digging on Cody for that. To say it's a carbon copy, I'd go, well, duh. Of course it's a carbon copy. Yeah. Cody's not known for his diversity.
I don't know. Berto says if this was the Street Profits versus Cody, it would be match of the decade on day one.
That's right.
And Jesus, Rob, you're the ultimate hater. This is from Anaconda Vice. Sorry, no Street Profits were on tonight.
I'm not hating. I think I'm just bringing up legitimate points that I believe they could do.
I don't know. I mean,
simply better.
Well, here's a legitimate point. What? At this point of the night, this is when Rob started hating, is during this match. And it was also when NXT announced that Street Profits did not win tag team
That's right.
of the year.
He did get salty.
So there
could be
some correlation. Yeah, absolutely.
I think so.
All I know is that NXT was not having a old wooden ship tonight because they definitely were lacking in diversity on their awards.
Keith Lee won.
Yeah.
None of the Asians won though.
All right.
And Stike says to clarify it, I'm not crapping on it, but I thought the matches overall in AEW were very solid tonight. You had a big momentum for Cody kind of after this match is what it seemed like, trying to go into the MJF feud. You're just building some momentum for Cody, and you highlighted Darby. Great match. I have no problem with this.
And it did tell a story. I know Rob was saying that the whole thing didn't make any sense, but there was the part where even just simply Darby hitting the coffin drop. Remember, that was like a huge spot.
Yeah.
There were fucking gifts everywhere.
Dude, I have no issue with the match. I mean, I was just somebody else on the board said it was a carbon copy. I was actually defending that. Of course it's going to be. But as far as the match and the story it told in the ring, I have no problem with what happened in this match. None at all. The outcome, the in-ring work, none of it. My problem lies with the opening presentation of it. It told the opposite of what the story actually is.
And
I disagree.
Just for the record, somebody did agree. Jason Sklenner agreed with Rob about the Arn Anderson thing. He says being with Cody, it's just because it seems out of nowhere. He liked the idea of Rob's build, for the coach. I don't think that was bad. Everything else you said was kind of
okay.
But I did like your out of nowhere because I agree. I didn't follow it on all this other platforms, Brian, to know why Arn was in the mix. Moving on, we see SCU backstage. They're basically cut a normal promo that you would expect to see from the champs. We'll take on anybody, any contender. They threw some names out, Dark Order, etc. And then we find out that Sammy Guevara comes out and kind of calls Christopher Daniels an old man, Brian.
He was all over the show tonight.
Yeah. So,
right?
But Sammy's going to fight Christopher Daniels next week.
Which, I don't know if this is another thing, if this is going to bother you as far as guys feuding with multiple factions and personalities. This is just another one. This is just like a mini feud inside of the bigger picture with the inner circle.
No, I think they're just trying to see what sticks. I think they're just somebody said this on the board. Jaded. He says AEW is going to make matches with whoever shows up and see what sticks.
Whoever shows up.
Like just book it. I mean, look at what they're doing. I mean, I'll read it later, but the whole card for next week is very like, what the fuck? Just this is what we're doing. Anyway, SCU cut a good promo is the point here, and it sets up that. Let's move on to the Fatal 4-Way because Chris Statlander apparently was double booked. So we don't get the championship match that we were promised, Brian. And instead we get a Fatal 4-Way.
Production fuck up.
Oh, sorry, 4-Way. Nyla Rose, Hikaru Shida. Dr. Britt Baker, and Riho for the championship, of course.
I'm not going to surprise anybody by saying that I have nothing good to say about this match.
Nothing at all.
Wait.
Not one fucking thing.
The kendo stick strike was
that
cool.
actually wasn't in the match. That was right before it.
Oh, well, then
Bell didn't ring.
Then my point
my only good things I can say about this match is Shida. Shida, every spot that she was in was fairly good, even if it was involved Britt Baker. Everything else, Britt was very sloppy. I still don't buy Riho as anything more than a anime doll. And
excuse me, what?
There was this
anime doll.
There was this moment in the match where Riho is whipping Britt Baker to the ropes, but she's supposed to end up in the turnbuckle. So rather than any kind of maneuver to make that look real, Britt Baker just simply runs, takes a corner edge, and then cuts it to the corner and lands in the back. It was
little misdirection. Little misdirection.
Yeah,
for
we thought they were going to wrestle and they didn't.
No. She thought she was going to go right. She went left. So
okay.
The fuck.
Wait.
What else?
She's been drinking with Paige.
The last couple minutes or whatever spots toward the finish were also good. Bar low though, Rob.
Yeah.
This easily was the best women's match in AEW history.
Well, I mean, the smartest kid in a classroom full of idiots. Sure.
Okay,
best 4-way.
Well, no, I'm going to say it's best women's match. Period. The bar is low. Hikaru Shida, again, all her spots were on point. Britt Baker, though,
not good.
Not good.
I'm sorry. I want to like Britt Baker.
Apologize to Adam Cole.
I'm sorry. I mean, look, she's superficially, she's an attractive woman. Obviously, she's brilliant because she's a fucking dentist. She's successful. I mean, all power to her. I don't have anything personal against her, but in the ring, I am just not entertained. Yeah. And I don't know what Anaconda Vice on the board is smoking.
Why would he say?
Talking about Britt was not sloppy at all. Bro, there were some cringe fucking moments when it comes to Britt's performance.
Cringe?
Yeah.
I don't know about cringe.
You were even sitting there cringe. You were like, you look at me and go, okay, yeah, that.
Well, also, there was a
problem
couple
with that
times.
One too.
I mean, I'm glad there's no heroin spots, but Britt, you could see her just sitting there waiting.
No, right.
The
right
other
before.
move finished, and then she runs. I mean, like,
she was right on the apron closest to us, right in the beginning when it was just Riho and I think Shida in the ring, and Britt was right on the apron.
This was probably the best use of Nyla Rose that they've had, and I think it's because they did present her as a monster in a fatal 4-way where she was, producing destruction.
Not Nia Jax did very well tonight.
Right.
Not Kairi Sane did well.
Still not a fan of her.
Not Asuka One did well.
Yeah. I'm still not a fan of Nyla Rose.
And not Peyton Royce did well.
Not Peyton Royce.
No, she didn't.
Racist.
Anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
We get another one backstage. Now this one, Brian, I know interested you. Joey Janela's backstage, but before he could talk, Rob, he just stops. And camera pans away, and we see that he's getting a nut shot from his ex. Penelope Ford, and Kip Sabian is standing by, and they walk off.
You know what this proves to me?
Shots fired?
A little bit. If WWE's going to cuck, they're going to fucking cuck too.
Cuck?
Well, at least this cuck is real.
How do you know the Lashley Lana one isn't?
What is a cuck?
Hey, Boomer.
What?
It's a Shakespearean term for...
I'm asking. I don't know what it is.
For someone who has been cheated on.
Oh, I was not aware of that. I learned that
commonly used in porn now.
That's
why Brian knows it.
It's a big category.
I learned it on my 41st year. Sorry.
41st year. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Really? You don't know that?
I'm fucking. No? I'm not.
So anyway,
I'm not upset that I didn't know. Oh,
okay.
God, I'm sorry.
All right. Would you rather watch this, or would you rather watch Lana Lashley Rusev fucking get married?
Then
this is real. Not real.
He is right though. This is the the AEW equivalent
I'm
of
not
Lita,
shitting on-
Matt, and Edge.
Yeah,
I'm
there
not
you go.
shitting on this. I haven't even interjected. I was letting you
Right?
two. I was letting you two spunk on each other.
That's pretty
over it.
similar.
But
I mean, not
you-
really.
but
The
The reason I keep going to you, Brian, is you were very critical. Like,
Well, I know-
I don't think these guys are going to work
That's
together.
because Janela has said that before. He was like, I'm not really. That's not something that really interests me. But that's why I'm
His
surprised
stock
to
is
see
shit.
that. I wouldn't say that.
Janela's stock is shit.
You think it's shit?
Yes.
He's on
Yeah.
a fucking
He's
nationally
horrible.
shown
Yeah.
television show.
Yeah, David Lee Roth is still getting Van Halen royalties. His stock is shit.
Yeah.
Well, his head is shaved. He looks totally different.
Berto asked that did y'all hear about Lars and his past videos? And I just want to break the fourth
Yeah,
wall.
Brian was
Yeah.
watching
Brian
them on
was
Monday.
watching them like Monday. Like, guys, watch this. Like, no, dude.
News broke, and I was
We
like,
had to
bro,
leave the
I
room
have that on
twice.
VHS. That's fucking old news.
Yeah, he didn't like turn it on and turn it off. He was like in it. He was.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I showed
He
you,
watched
and you
it
were
for
like,
an hour.
You,
No,
you
no,
showed-
no.
It
you
was
showed,
elite.
You showed me like 2 seconds, and I was like,
as technologically advanced as you are,
I
at
watched it-
setting all this stuff up, you can't fucking save anything. You had me like go on your computer. You're like, Brian, how do I bookmark this? How do I save it for later so I can watch it when everyone's
that's
away?
fake news.
No, that's real.
No, but I watched it for as long as I watched Two Girls One Cup. I mean, it was.
Alrighty.
You were all in.
Yeah, tubgirl.com. AEW came in after everyone else sucked up all the good women talent on the indies. That's from Berto.
Lemon
Fair
Party.
enough. Fair enough. Joey Janela after the nut shot.
You want to recap our argument here?
What, Lemon Party?
No, about the women.
What?
That I said that NXT, what they do is they find all the really talented
Uh-huh.
and also attractive,
Oh,
full package women.
because that
for their
matters. Does
roster.
that matter to you?
I did, yeah.
That matters to you. See, that's the problem. Why should that fucking matter?
That they're talented and can wrestle and they're attractive to look at. Yeah, that matters.
No,
As
they don't need
opposed
to be attractive. That
as
should have nothing
as
to do
opposed
with
to
anything.
having one or the other. So, like in AEW, it's like if you're attractive, you can't wrestle, and if you're not so much,
That's
you-
false.
you
That's
can kinda
that's
wrestle.
your opinion. That's a dated.
Okay.
Anyway, you guys killing me tonight.
Okay.
Let's see real quick. Stike says he wants Penelope Ford on a pole match, Brian.
So does Brian.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Berto's calling you out. Brian, you need to do some research for the show.
Why?
That's why. Or no, he's not calling you out. He's defending you.
Why?
That's why you were watching the Lars video. It's research.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's right.
That's why he was touching himself while
Yeah.
he was doing it.
Yeah.
You have to really find out what the fuck is going
Brian,
on.
why are you rubbing your nipple? I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
I'm doing it for the
And-
podcast.
And Anaconda Vice, man, I don't know what you're talking about. He says Rhea looks like a man, Rob. Relax. No, there's something weird about Rhea.
Are you saying Rhea or Riho?
Rhea Ripley. He's talking about Rhea.
Rhea doesn't look like a man.
She's
No,
not.
no, I'm saying
Who said that? Who said that?
Vice
Put them in
says
timeout.
that.
Vice?
Yeah.
No, that's not saying. Okay, you're right.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Anyway, moving
Everyone's fucking pissing me off
on.
tonight.
Dark Order vignette. We almost fast forwarded it, but Brian made Rob rewind. So Brian, I know you wanted to talk about this.
Oh my
go,
God.
Go ahead.
This is a fucking I don't know how you guys didn't see this. I don't know how you guys didn't. Did you notice what his last word was? And did you notice that it was all distorted?
Was it distorted?
It wasn't. Do you have a?
I'm waiting for you.
You don't have a guess?
No.
No, you didn't.
You
hear
were
it?
all excited. It's Easter egg.
Yeah, Easter Egg City. You were bragging.
He said wonderful. Name a superstar.
Mr. Wonderful.
No.
Paul Orndorff.
Except for Paul Orndorff. Name a superstar that says wonderful.
Willy
Damian
Wonka.
Sandow.
Wardlow.
Wonderful.
Oh, Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy.
I think
Delightful. He's the leader.
it's a little teeny tiny egg.
Yeah.
Teeny,
Easter egg. Why else would you fucking say that?
Because
That was very.
because
that
wonderful's a very
It was very
well-used
broken.
word.
It was
It's a-
very broken. It was very broken.
You're right. I only use the word wonderful.
Anyway,
there's a deeper meaning.
One
to
man's
it.
opinion.
I bet it turns out to be Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff.
It could be. It could be.
To be like
but
Luger.
Everybody on the board is tracking with you, though. Vice, Berto, they said Matt Hardy.
so, kudos to them for long-term storytelling. Everyone's shitting on the fucking Dark Order after what happened a few weeks ago. I think if this really
we were
happens down
shitting
the line,
on the creeper who
Well,
was punching the mat.
and
Let's be
rightfully
fair.
so. Oh, yeah, totally fair.
Everybody's
Totally
acting
fair.
like the whole company is a dumpster fire because one dude.
He even owned
sucked.
up to it. Eric Cannon.
Yeah, he did.
He was in what's it called? I think the first Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah,
He's been around.
I was gonna let this go, but I mean, Berto says Mandy Rose and Carmella can't wrestle. Natalya and Shayna are ugly. Yeah, full package there, Rob. Okay, I'm making a general statement. There's always exceptions to the rule, but let me just defend this real quick and make it clear. I'm not a Mandy Rose fan or a Carmelo fan in any respect. But as far as them not being able to wrestle, I don't see them doing a whole bunch of botchy shit. I mean, they have botches. Everybody has botches. I think as far as just the fundamentals of wrestling, I think they're fine. They're just other aspects of them that don't appeal to me as far as wrestling goes. And as far as Natty and Shayna, Natty's not an ugly woman. I mean, she's not my type, but she's not ugly. And Shayna's a fucking badass. Yeah, they're not all pretty. I'm not saying they have to be pretty. I was just saying,
were before.
I was saying, but as a general rule, they do try to find
Charlotte's
either extremely talented.
Oh, by the way, congrats.
Either extremely talented or the full package of decent to look at and talented. There's exceptions to the rule for having both. Okay.
Ninja, please.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that's a good one to play right there,
right?
too.
I knew what I was doing.
Skletter agrees with me.
Yeah,
of course he would.
No.
Go ahead.
No.
Come on.
Anyway, next up we have Moxley
Yay.
taking on best friend Trent because apparently Chucky T wrestles less than Orange Cassidy, Brian. I don't know if he's injured or what, but he's just been
not even wearing gear, just going out there in street clothes.
Yeah, wearing a
same
jacket.
Thing for Orange Cassidy.
Well,
but
at least Orange Cassidy has a spot.
No, I know, but he always wears those clothes anyway.
Chuck T is just standing around. Trent's wrestling every week, jobbing out.
I have legit no problem with this match at all. No problem. The only
no, the match was good. But I'm just talking about I'm being a little petty here, but something's up with Chuck Taylor.
Oh no, it's fine. Look, if he's hurt, like legit hurt in something, if he's on the shelf, and they're still using him, I like that better than what WWE does. Just act like they don't exist for fucking 7 months.
Yeah.
If he can come out there and help out on the side,
But he hasn't. He's just been there, literally just
coming out. Though.
Helping out as far as letting his character breathe and stay keep.
And he does a lot of backstage vignettes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So.
Keep him in the picture.
Yeah, they do their little hug.
Orange Cassidy's, he's doing his thing. It's entertaining. I mean, the only criticism I would have about this match or this setup or anything to do with this segment of the show is I just wish Moxley would stop shielding it. I wish he'd just come out of the fucking tunnel.
No, I like the uniqueness of it. I like that.
Plus, go on.
There's no problem with it.
Here's my problem, okay? And call this Petty Town if you want to. My problem is that guys like him and Sammy Guevara, right, that come through the crowd, they're
Sammy
not.
Doesn't always do it.
But listen, I'm making a point here. They are not big guys. Not digging on them, but they're not big guys. And when you have them walking through the crowd looking smaller than most of the guys walking by with popcorn, then you're not doing any favors to them as being realistic, gladiators in the ring. You're not doing them a favor there.
Yeah, but they're getting the hype that he's coming. He might walk by them. They get their YouTube, moments.
Okay, well, do that in the armories, in the bingo halls. I'm not trying to be a dick here. I'm just saying, for me,
you're always a dick.
If you're gonna have somebody come through the crowd like that, have it be a bigger guy that's a bigger presence amongst the people. Sammy Guevara looked like he came from the nosebleed seats and he grabbed the microphone.
Well, I think for that,
Sammy Guevara was a one-off here. He doesn't do that.
That's what I'm saying. He was just interrupting the whole.
I'm not saying he does it all the time. This is my criticism on Moxley.
Dean.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Dean.
I'm
Mox
saying
is 6'4".
Moxley is not fucking 6'4".
He's probably billed at 6'4". He's not 6'4".
He's not fucking 6'4".
He's not 6'4". I like it because it's a nod to his past. I like that he's not fucking wearing any kind of Shield gear, but yeah, he can come through the crowd. That's what he's known for. That's one of his big things.
I have no problem with it.
Okay, I just think that you don't do your wrestlers any services.
And this was a good match. The board's even talking about it. Trent Beretta, I know he's been being used, Brian, as enhancement talent. This guy deserves something more. Maybe he's just being used this way because they're hiding a Chuck Taylor injury. I don't know, but we haven't seen a best friends match since the tournament, since they were eliminated.
It's been quite a bit, but that's okay. I mean, Trent, he can go out and have these types of matches, and he looks good. Fucking Mox looks great.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy had his spot too, which is awesome. And what about how'd you guys like Moxley doing the whole thing back to him, putting his hands in his pockets? And
I thought it was a funny spot.
Yeah. I don't think it takes away from like the violent nature of Moxley.
No, that plays in more to the erraticness of Moxley.
Right. Moxley, okay. Bang Bus saying who's built it's build also. It's not built. He's billed at 6'4". Then he's probably 6'2", 6'3". WWE adds an inch or two. Yes, or two. He's more like 6'1". And I know this for a fucking fact. Okay, so he's more like 6'1". He's not. In 6 is even kind of a stretch, I think.
Did you have a sleepover with him?
Jay said he stood next to him. Jay's 6'3". He said he was taller than him standing next to him. So he's probably 6'2".
My dad's
I don't
stronger
think
than
he's-
your
I
dad.
think he's more 6'1". It doesn't matter. Whatever.
Anyway, and Anaconda Vice says Moxley's entrance is so over to continue his disagreement thread with Robert.
Okay.
He's an angry elf.
On to the next.
So is Romans.
So Sammy comes out. We want an answer. We'll get it next week. 49% of the Inner Circle, executive vice president. He'll be an equal to Chris Jericho. I think this is too obvious that Mox says no, that why not say yes and let this play for a little bit? Like when Cena joined the Wyatts or something where he's obviously just going to conquer from within.
I'm hoping it's more of the same but different, what you're saying there. I would like for Moxley to accept, come into it, but the whole time it was an Inner Circle ruse. Like eventually they're all just going to turn on Moxley and like, you thought you were really part of this gig?
That's a nice twist.
Yeah, we wanted to get you defenseless with your guard down so that we could brutalize you later.
Who's we?
The Inner Circle? Outer Circle?
Anyway, so we'll get that answer next week, according to Mox. Sammy comes out during that whole thing, so he's already in the ring. Here comes Dustin. I gotta tell, I don't know which one of you wants to take this softball here. Fucking Dustin Rhodes can still wrestle, and looked good tonight.
Yeah, he did the running power slam on the outside.
He did a lot of good spots.
He never has a bad match.
I don't like that he lost on a nut shot from Hager off screen. Like Rob said, the fucking ref. He turns around, guy is standing. He turns back, guy is on the ground. He doesn't suspect anything, just counts the 3.
If you didn't see it, you can't say anything.
But still, I don't like the way Dustin lost, but this was a hell of a match. Sammy Guevara, we've seen him. He can hold his own, but I want to focus on how good Dustin was in this. I mean, very crisp and clean. He does not move like his age. He moves and worked the ring, Brian, like a guy who was fucking raised in it.
It was actually Trent who said years ago that Dustin Rhodes is the fastest man alive. He's been in the ring with him, and he said that he is the fastest fucking person that he's ever been in the ring with.
Well,
he said it on like old Cabana.
He flies off the ropes.
He really does. He really does.
And
you know what? His whole look too. Once he changed over from Goldust to this, at first it was a little kind of rocky, but now I'm starting to. Now it's just natural seeing him. Natural, get it? Didn't even mean to do that. Seeing him with the red and black, it was great.
Don't forget the Canadian Destroyer.
There were destroyers all over
on
the
the apron, the hardest part.
That is the hardest part. I don't know if you know that.
It's the hardest part.
I don't know if you know that.
Is it? Is it harder than the ring post?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, way to kill a topic, Rob.
Yeah.
Thanks for chiming in.
It's not.
I'm sorry. I was doing
metal.
something else and I jumped in late.
What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
Dustin's almost 50, Jason says. Yeah. And that spot on the apron with the Canadian Destroyer, what the fuck for Jay?
Dustin's amazing. I love Dustin.
Stike
really
is correcting me. Cena did the Nexus join.
He's amazing at everything but taking punches. Dark Order.
Wow. We're still going on this.
No.
You're so petty.
I'm done.
You're gonna be the petty elf in 2020. So Hager came in obviously at the end, low blow. I don't like the ending, having Dustin just lose that way.
Is he ever gonna wrestle?
I would have rather had Hager punch him, like not do like a knockout punch,
Right?
Or do his finisher, a nut shot.
Yeah. Well, they just had the new Gen X commercial during that segment, so he's called the Big Hurt. Frank Thomas stars as in that commercial.
Yeah.
As he's the Big Hurt. I think there's some sort of new Gen X kind of.
Yeah. Hager's a long build.
Hey, Sammy, can you pull your fucking trunks out of your ass, please?
Well, all I'm saying is that's why he's hitting him in the nuts.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be like a manly like growth.
And Hager
growth.
Let's
to
be
buy
honest,
more
Rob.
new Gen X.
Lars
It's basically Jake Hager is working for new Gen X.
You don't want monsters out there every week dancing with the New Day. I have no problem with the way they're booking Hager as a very, very long, slow build. He is just a heavy for the Inner Circle right now. He has had no matches. He is screwed over. He is.
Can he not look like a guy who should be named Chip and goes to a country club to play golf?
Maybe he's selling new Gen X. Maybe it's like a pyramid scheme, and he's like trying to go backstage to everybody.
Stop talking to him. He's petty. Just ignore him.
Who, him?
Yes.
What?
Oh, so you like my new Gen X idea?
No, I like everything that's not coming out of Rob's mouth. On to the next segment, Private Party. I've complained about why Hangman and Omega keep getting fucking paired together, but we have a segment here, Private Party cutting a promo, and Adam Page needs a drink. So
This is again going back to the beginning of the show with Arn Anderson. This is another one where it's like, okay, so Hangman is like he's an alcoholic now.
He's doing cowboy shit. He's always drinking. He's a beer drinking son of a gun.
But now it's like a very prevalent thing that he's just a drinker now, and apparently they've been doing this on the
most recent
on the social media feeds.
Yeah, he's been walking around backstage looking for Kenny, being all drunk and just walking around holding.
Again,
so
why,
very well.
Isn't this something you want to put on your TV program?
I think that was the short version of it. Him getting a drink and him always having a drink. He had one at commentary.
I'm talking about introducing him with this
issue.
I think
maybe that's something.
Shouldn't you introduce this? Let the build-up happen on the show, and then on your social media platforms, you can put like extra content to support it. I mean, this should be him getting a drink and it being a big deal to me. Was, as somebody who doesn't watch other stuff, was like, why?
You are a fucking hypocrite. We've talked about how you need something simple. What is this feud built off of? What is this match built off of? It's because he came and took a $12 drink.
Then you're not listening to what I'm saying. You motherfuckers are so close-minded. You don't hear anything other than
I hear what you're saying.
I'm saying that's fine. If the gimmick is that he's a drunk, fine. Make him a fucking drunk. We have seen worse in wrestling. It's not even that bad. It's not even that bad of a fucking topic. I'm saying is introduce it to me by some kind of a story concept on the television program.
I think maybe that's one of the issues
that when this happens, I can go, oh, it carries the story on.
That they have to do is kind of bring in the stuff that they're doing on YouTube to show, to the fans that like you that don't watch all that shit.
Right.
They need to kind of, I'm not. I've been giving you a lot of shit lately, Rob. But with that, I'm not. I'm with you.
Thank you.
They do need to integrate that.
You want to build the story if you want to create new fans for your television program. Because you know who's following you on social medias? People who are already wrestling fans. Nobody's going to look at their buddy and go, oh, man, you got to check out fucking what happened on Being the Elite Dark. Oh, I'm not a wrestling fan. Oh, you'll really love it. You'll love it. Rather than somebody saying, hey, man, you got to check out this new wrestling show. It's pretty fun. And that's what happened in the Attitude Era. People who didn't watch wrestling tuned in because it was so outrageous and ended up becoming wrestling fans. Here, you're not generating new business because you're throwing everything to people who are already fans.
Well, that's but see, exactly. You're assuming that they already watched the program, and then they find out about all the YouTube stuff. Maybe, it's 2020. YouTube, everyone fucking watches YouTube. Maybe they're finding out about these shows first, and then going to they're like, oh, they have a TV show on TNT. Fuck me.
I think you have a much better chance of creating new business or new viewers to your product on a platform like television, which is still broadly and widely used, where social media is such a bubble type of entertainment. I mean, in social media, this is your bubble or it's not. You have wrestling groups on your Facebook or you don't. You don't go, I'm going to try out a wrestling Facebook group because I'll have nothing in common with them.
And I want to get alerts all day from like not know what they're talking about.
Yeah, everybody's
a good point.
Somebody's flipping through the channel who doesn't watch wrestling. They see Elite. Oh, let me watch this for 5 minutes, see what it's about, and then they're going, I don't understand this at all, because all the content's being told off the show. That's my point.
All right, Rob, why don't they put this stuff on TV? Rob, after they put it on TV, this makes no goddamn sense. That's from Berto. Anaconda Vice is calling you Stretch Rob Strong, saying you're really stretching tonight. And they're throwing Street Profits and Private Party dream matches.
Oh, God.
For Rob to watch. Rob, don't you think you've realized what you're saying about they should put these segments on TV instead of just on social media? That's why you're seeing this now. Yeah, there was a lot of simple segments tonight. Dark Order, Janela.
I'm seeing the ass, but I'm not understanding why the ass is there.
But like the Joey Janela Kip Sabian story, that was probably previously on All Elite's channel and stuff. They're showing that on TV.
Everyone knows Janela and they were a thing.
It's like, could you imagine if your mother watches or father, whatever, watches Dynasty or whatever the fucking shows, General Hospital, whatever there is now, I don't know, Bold and the Beautiful, and on the show itself, they don't do any builds to the stories because they do all that on Twitter. Like, Mom, what are you watching here? What's going on with Doug and Dan? Oh, well, on Twitter they got into a beef I saw, and so I decided to tune into the program so I could see how it all plays out. No!
Jason Sklenner, I 100% agree with Rob. AEW Creative just assumes all viewers are fans. TV viewers don't get hooked on stories that start on Chapter 5.
Right, exactly.
It is. You can watch a sitcom maybe on Chapter 5 and roll with it, but if it's any kind of like progressive story, he's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but with Netflix and stuff, you can watch some things out of
Wait,
order
Rob,
and
Rob,
go back
But
to watching.
that's
Rob, I have an
I'm
exception
saying just
for you.
on demand
I have an
video.
exception
That's
for you.
totally different.
I
I'm
have
on-
an
I'm-
Splinter too.
What?
The exception, New Hope. You can start on chapter 4.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. No, Brian, your analogy doesn't work with Netflix. It's a different thing. I mean, we're talking about a live program
Okay.
on television.
Okay. But you
Okay.
can go back and watch a story and watch things. You don't have
But why
to
are
see
you making it hard for me?
beginning to end.
If you want to catch me as a new fan, the first thing you're telling me is, hey, if you want to understand my product, you have to work for it. We're not just going to present it to you here that you might tune in and see it.
This is for the
You
fans,
got- you have-
right?
No, it's not, it's supposed to be an alternative to WWE. It's supposed to be another wrestling program.
Well-
and what they're doing is they're making it, and I don't want to kick this horse too much. They're making this a fucking indie show where you can just show up and not know a story's going on and just know that two guys are beefing, and then that's
see,
it.
no.
It's a television program. You have to tell the story about why, or the who, the what, the where, and the why. All we're getting is the what
Well, and Jay
and
says
the who.
Jay says someone that doesn't watch wrestling is going to not have a fucking clue what's going on anyway. So
That's not true. That's not
they're
fucking true.
going after a mark audience.
That's not fucking true.
So-
Everybody in the world knows that people fight with each other. So you could, if you've never watched wrestling, you could tune in and know that these two guys are going to fight with each other. And then and I'm not floating WWE's boat. They're not really good at it right now. But the story of wrestling is, even the old WCW story of wrestling is, you have two guys who have a story that builds them into an encounter, into a fight. So, yes, a person who is not a wrestling fan can absolutely turn on a wrestling program and not only follow it, but maybe become entertained and
Yeah, but they need to see every chapter. Like your other
that's
point.
fine. That's not
you
my.
know.
I'm addressing his certain thing, saying that, if they're not a wrestling fan, they're not going to get it anyway. Yeah, they're going to understand what the fucking body slam is. They might not know the detailed information. They might not hear a carny term and know what it's talking about. But you can absolutely follow wrestling. It's a fucking story with a fight at the end. Come on.
It is 100% true, Rob Tez Ford. That's from Anaconda
Listen,
Vice.
you guys complain that WWE does it
Don't
overkill.
lump
Don't do
me in.
what-isms.
Don't lump me.
Don't do what-if-isms. If you're going to make a point about what I'm saying, don't use something else to make your point.
No. I'm just curious because you say WWE does this way too much. They do Recap City. They show all these fucking recaps all the time. Like hammer the story down our throats. Whereas AEW, it seems like you're saying that they don't do it enough on their
I'm
television.
not saying one.
So I don't know where the line is.
I like the
I'm-
slow build they
no.
did tonight, Brian. I thought it was perfect.
I
You
would
give
rather
me a
this-
little tease.
I would rather this
I'm
than
not-
fucking
I'm
WWE
not saying-
throwing it to a fucking recap
Again,
every other half hour.
Also, WWE stretching it for 20
okay.
minutes. They did it in 3.
You're doing the whataboutism again. What you're doing is saying, well, AEW, here's the thing, we're talking about that. Well, you say WWE this, what about WWE? It's a different fucking aspect.
I'm
Well, no,
just
what
saying
about
the
my
situation.
point?
Well, your point is interrupting is what your point is. And the
You've been
difference
talking for 20 minutes.
well, we're having a fucking conversation, me and Brian.
Monologue.
Brian just talked the whole time. I talked
the whole time.
No,
Okay, Morrow.
I'm saying he asked me a question. I'm trying to respond to it without your input. Because he asked me.
Oh, okay. I'll just sit
So-
over here and
Yeah,
fucking
please.
twiddle my thumbs.
Thank you. So with WWE, I'm not saying one's bad and one because the other one's good. WWE has its issues. And yes, you can say that there's too much. If you want to shove a story down somebody's mouth, that's exhausting. I agree with you there. But also, if AEW is not telling the fucking story to begin with, that's not entertaining. I'm moving the fuck on. That's what I'm saying. The whole conversation here is that they're not doing anything to build, and it's not. Don't compare WWE because we're gonna in this conversation. WWE doesn't exist. I just said that the basic fundamentals, the blackboard, the blueprints for wrestling program, which has been done by WWE and WCW and NWA back in the day for a television program, is to tell the story from infancy to maturation to conclusion. They're not doing that.
They told tons of stories tonight. Yes, you weren't paying attention to the backstory of Darby and Cody, but there was a backstory there of why they teamed up with Butcher and the Blade and that whole thing. Dark Order has been slowly building to their recruiting.
There's
the
absolutely.
other story that you told with the Inner Circle and Dean is going on. SCU calling out the division. There's another story. I don't want to throw in WWE in my argument here, but they told a lot of stories in really small little chapters here. Like the Adam Page and Private Party. What's it going to be? It's going to be a match next week. It's not a full-blown feud. It's something to keep these guys busy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And on the WWE side, in the span that they pushed 10 stories tonight on AEW, WWE would have either A, shown a recap like Brian said, or B, shown a way too fucking long 20-minute segment.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
I think AEW is doing just fine. I'm really surprised that like all of the points you're making don't have you on the other side at the end. How you're drawing the wrong conclusion.
I don't understand what the fuck that even meant. I'll just say that I'm
It's like
not.
you say 2 + 2 = 5.
Don't get me. Okay, whatever. Don't get me fucking twisted here. I'm not saying that every story.
Key sweat.
I'm not saying that every story on AEW is being told wrong. I'm not saying that there are good stories that are going through infancy to maturation. I'm just saying that there are key points in the show that they're highlighting that have no back to them or make no relevancy to what they're actually presenting. That's all I'm saying. Not everything. You're right. There are some good storylines going on in AEW. I have no disagreement with that. Go ahead, move on. I'm stealing the show. Go ahead.
I thought there was a lot of really good ones. So that's I mean, you're not stealing the show so much as you're bringing up a point that we're trying to rationalize how you're getting to that conclusion. That's what I'm trying to say.
I appreciate your perspective, Rob.
Yeah.
I've very much articulated how I'm getting to my conclusion. You're just clearly don't get
all right.
shit.
MJF is up next. Let's this is gonna, talk someone. Of course he's accompanied, Brian, by Wigwam. And we yeah, what is Wigwam?
Warsaw.
TB?
Wardrobe.
Wink.
Narnia? I don't know. Whatever his name is.
Wonka.
Wait, who was the movie?
There could be only one.
Willow.
Oompa Loompa?
Willow.
GTO Minnesota.
MJF, I have no problem with the hate he fires. I understand his promo. I like everything like that. I just want to cut to the chase. This fucking list of conditions is insane. I'll read it and then I'll cut it to you guys. He wants to fight at Revolution and you can't touch him until then. You need to have a win over Wigwam in a cage match for Wigwam's debut, and then you have to come to the ring and let me hit you with my belt 10 times. And then, if all of that happens, I will give you a match at Revolution so that your Mark fans can want it. This is a weird one, man.
Why?
Why?
The 10 lashings was if you stopped at number 2, he's got to beat Woodlawn to get into the match. I got that. You want to give him a little qualifier. You want to give him a little chase. But number 1, that's Woodlawn's debut. And Wigwam's going to lose in his debut. That's great. And then Cody has to get on all fours and take 10 lashings and can't. That was one too many.
I know you're going to be surprised here. Here's my problem here, Brian. Okay, so in reality, if somebody says to me, to get this, I have to give you 10 lashes with my belt. I have to really be wanting that. And I mean wanting to the point of absolutely obsession. My white whale here, my Moby Dick, absolute obsession, where only thing I can think about, the only thing I can focus on in my entire life and to get it right would be to have this match.
And with Brandy Rhodes as your wife, that's never going to happen.
Well, that's true. But I would have to be so consumed in getting this match that I am willing to get whipped with a belt 10 times. Here's why it doesn't make sense to me. Because Cody is everywhere else right now. If he was so consumed, absolutely consumed to the point where he'd be willing to take whips with a belt to fight MJF, he would not have had that match with Darby Allin earlier. He would not have came out and celebrated with the Elite at the end of the program. He would be completely and utterly obsessing over Darby Allin to the point that he would go, yes, whip me with a belt. He's not
MJF.
obsessing. I'm sorry.
And he would have come out also, Brian, and just addressed him. Like, he wouldn't have been able to sit back in the locker room.
No, I'll give you the end of the night when he came out. I thought I didn't need that. I think he should have just stayed back. I mean, also, he just had a match earlier in the night, so he should,
Thank you.
That should have waited till after the show. But the whole match with him and Darby Allin, I thought that was fine because he's a man of his word. He said that he was going to give Darby a rematch.
That was
so
a great little
that's
build.
Fine. That's fine. We don't have to go back into that. I'm fine with that, Brian. And here's the other thing, too, is with the whips, Adam. It's one of the three things. But for me, This should be taken out of the 3 issues and put above the match as, and when I beat you, Cody Rhodes, I get to whip you 10 times.
There you go. Now, if you add that as a stipulation for the victory,
Yes.
okay, absolutely. Now you got my attention again, Rob.
Yeah.
As soon as he threw that in there, Brian, that's when I lost this promo for me. MJF was fire up until that point. Okay, we're finally going to get Woodlawn's debut. We're going to have a first cage match ever for AEW. This is a really strong build and great story, and then I'm gonna whip you 10 times. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I don't hate it. It just shows that how over the top MJF's character really is. Like he wants to fucking whip Cody.
Okay, that's great, but like Rob said, slight twist. If I win, you have to let me do this.
He's just like a shithead heel. I think he just wants to punish Cody, and this is the way of doing it. It's either this way or they don't have a fucking match at all.
Yeah, Sklenner is all in on Rob like Rob is on the Street Profits. He says he's making great points tonight. I would call it a passion elf, not the angry elf. Tonight only. And it's 100% better to do that as the winning stipulation. MJF really had me tonight up until that point, and I'm like, what? Number 3 is you're going to whip him 10 times?
Okay. Look, okay, Berto on the board. You see, you don't like what AEW is putting out, Rob. It's fine. I hate TNA, while other people say it's the best thing ever. But I don't watch because I don't like what they produce. If you open your fucking ears, bro, open your ears, and I'm addressing you because you're saying it, but I'm sure other people are
Look at the camera like MJF.
I am. I'm addressing you. Open your ears to what I'm saying.
Kerwin, zoom in.
I have clearly made points that I am not shitting on the whole product, that I think that a lot of things they are doing is correct. But there are, and if it was just little petty town shit, I don't think I'd be that big about it. But to me, Brian, to me, Berto, to me, anybody out there, these are major points about AEW's storytelling and production that I believe really need to be fixed if this company is going to be successful moving forward and competing on a big stage. And I'm not angry. Passion is a good word. If I sound like I'm bitching, I am, because I want AEW to be a good product. I want it to find all the right moves to help it build and increase visibility. And I think some of the things they're doing are fundamental misses that are going to make them pay in the long run. Yes, in the long run. When they're looking at, in a year from now, if TNT's going, do we continue our contract with you guys?
A year from now, SmackDown will be on FS1.
Well, that's fine. It's not. But we're going to renew the contract, or not? Are we not going to renew the contract? Have your numbers built, or have they fallen? And I think these fundamental misses are not going to build your audience. And if you're relying on your social media to tell your story, people aren't going to be giving ratings. They're not going to be getting high ratings because I just go to social media and watch all this shit there. Why the fuck do I need to watch the television program?
Well, social media should be for teases. I agree with you. It should be teases to draw you to the show.
But
I mean, you have to have some affiliation there to bring someone to your main event. TNT is the one paying your bills. You got to get people to come to TNT.
I've never said it's a bad product. I'm just saying that AEW, there are things that they really do need to address. They really do need to address.
Those are growing pains. That'll happen. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's only a few months in.
You say it's growing pains until after, it doesn't go away for 7 months and you realize you have some kind of bone problem. I mean, these are things that they're not growing pains. They're These are fundamental storytelling tactics of professional wrestling. And I hate to be the shitty guy here and say at indie shows you don't need this level of storytelling so you can go out there and do these random things. This is not a growing pain. These are fundamental things that you should know before you begin a television program, and you should have figured out by now.
Bang Bus on the board. TNT wants AEW to get over 500,000 ratings. So far, they're doing great. Stike says the only reason to watch
they
Impact
are dropping, but they're dropping.
Is Tessa and Sammy Callahan. And Soji says if MJF is going to whip someone, would they freaking just have him wrestle and do it? This guy's just barking and no bite. It's getting annoying.
That's the point.
What did I say? But no,
that's the point.
Well, that's what Jason says. MJF is annoying by design.
Right.
Well, yeah, but what did I say a couple weeks ago? That one guy that comes over and you're like, yeah, he's funny. And then after he's gone over 4 times and you've already seen the stick, you're like, dude, this guy's a douche. Can you not bring him to my house?
Schultz.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'm done. Go ahead.
So that's let's wrap it up.
You're fired up.
Yeah, he's all in on the passion tonight. Main event, we have the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Bucks. They are going to go head-to-head with the Lucha Brothers and Pac. Good match. I have no real issue with it. I don't like the end when they're trying to get Adam Page to come back to the Elite, and he's just drunk. Like, I didn't do anything. Why do you
No,
want me
but
to
that
celebrate
goes
with it?
along with the whole theme of him not really wanting to be with them and just kind of doing
Yeah,
his
but
own
Cody
thing.
comes out and celebrates like he won the match.
No,
mean-
I'm with you on the whole Cody thing. I think that was kind of strange to have him mix it up. With
I don't
them.
want to talk about this match too much because we've seen the Luchas and the Bucks so many times.
Yeah,
And Pac and Omega has been done a lot already on this.
So, what do you guys think? Do you think that I personally think that Pac's stock took kind of a hit by for not being an All In.
Sure.
He got pulled from All In.
You mean All Out?
All Out, yeah. I think that his stock would be much higher. He'd be much more visible if he would have been in that one of those opening pay-per-views.
That was one of the deals, though, where he wanted to finish out. He was with Dragon Gate, I believe, at the time. He was their champion, so I think with the booking decision and there was all right. Yeah, but I'm with you. I think he kind of, people didn't forget about him, but I do think that he did lose a little bit of steam since coming over.
But
he's had awesome matches, though. Don't get me wrong.
I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan already of 6-man tag matches, but the Mox and Trent was great. I thought Cody and Darby, you have Dustin and Sammy, you have the best match ever for the women's division, and then you have this as your main event. That I'm sorry, I agree with Jason here. It was very video game wrestling 101. I mean, I've seen it. Why are the Bucks here again in the fucking main event?
Yeah, why not have your tag champs defend or
why isn't
somebody?
SCU fighting Proud and Powerful?
Well, what
tonight?
about this? What about this? What about putting the women's 4-way at the main event? I think that would have been.
I mean, at least. Well, no.
Don't ask me.
No.
Well, I'm not going to ask him.
No. I mean, definitely not that. But I mean, there.
What's your other option? I mean, those are for the titles, right?
Of the matches tonight, I agree with you, Brian. This is probably the one that they go with. I'm saying don't book it. If this is the main event for you tonight, don't book it.
Yeah,
if this is on paper what you've got, don't book it. Because I'm sorry, this is supposed to be the first of the new year, and this is the most retread thing in AEW is the Bucks and the fucking Lucha Brothers.
Right, and the other thing too about television program is it seems like they're billing this card as you would do at an indie show where you'd put the biggest names, the biggest attractions at the top.
I'd rather see the rubber match with Pac and Omega.
Right, but they've made very clear here that the characters involved. Omega is not in a top idol contention type situation. He doesn't need to be in the main event. The Bucks, they have nothing going on but weekly spot fest. They don't need to be in the main event.
Watch your tongue.
Main event again.
Again, the Lucha Brothers
they were there 2
are
weeks
entertaining, ago. But they shouldn't be in the main event right now. And who else we got? And Pac has been.
Well, him and
I have
Kenny
no problem with
thing.
Pac.
Okay.
If him and Kenny were doing their rubber match tonight, that would have been fine.
Right, that would have been fine. But I'm just saying, as an overall, looking at the booking here, I don't understand why this was the main event. What it continued on for the next chapter of this program. It seems like
wasn't even a blow off.
This seems like another place where Bucks were like, where should we put ourselves?
No, I'm with you. I think they should have had. I mean, the belt. It's fucking. You talk about traditions. I mean, the belt should be the main event of the card. I don't care what it is. I don't care what show it is. If it's for a belt, that one should be for in the main event.
Or a grudge.
It's the most important.
Or a grudge.
Or a grudge.
No,
right.
I'm saying the Kenny Omega grudge.
Well,
Kenny Omega and Pac grudge.
Right.
If they wanted to finally bring this to a close, I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
That would have been fine, like you said, over a championship match being a grudge. I don't know.
So I used to play in a billiards league, APA.
Always pounding ass.
Right. Lars Sullivan. And I had a nickname. By the way, it was pretty good. I had a nickname. No, they called me Otto.
Mitch Bennett?
No, yes. They called me Otto because I was always the captain of my team. But I put myself in every week. Not everybody plays every week. You get 7 players. You do 5 matches.
Were you like a German man? You come out.
Right.
Auto,
right. But I would put myself in every week.
Fabulous.
I never sat a week out. I'm like, I'm the fucking captain. I think I can get it done. I'm playing myself every week. So they call me Otto. And I use that analogy there because that's what I get with the Bucks here. The Bucks are like, we're the captains here, and we're going to put ourselves in every week. Well, what's your story? What are you selling to the crowd? That we can flip around and jump?
Oh, the old Hogan, WCW, this isn't going to work for me, brother.
Yeah.
With the booking.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Next week, here's a lot of hype. They seemingly have the entire card booked for next week. We got Sammy Guevara versus Christopher Daniels. We got Chris Statlander versus Rio for the title. We have Omega and Page versus Private Party. Dean is going to answer the Inner Circle. we have the Lucha Brothers versus the Road Brothers. And by the way, it's a tribute show to the legends of Memphis wrestling. And I do want to just point out for 1 second here, because this hurts me and Brian's argument, but I am an objective journalist. JR pointed out tickets are still available. Memphis is a fucking wrestling city. And that they're not sold out a week ahead of time is pretty telling to me.
What's the size of the building? Do we know that? We don't have that in front of us.
If it's at the Pyramid, which I don't know if it's still open there, it's about 10,000. If it's at the FedEx Forum, it's about 16. If it's anywhere else, it's way too small to be considered, and I'm sure they're not at the Liberty Bowl. I lived in Memphis for 6.5 years. Unless they've opened some new venues, you're between the Pyramid or the FedEx Forum.
There's no kind of fairgrounds.
That would make more sense.
Yeah.
Actually, the fairgrounds are where the Liberty Bowl
Maybe
is.
they'll put them on that little island, that little sandbar in the middle of Mississippi.
Oh, Mud Island?
Yeah.
Mud Island is an amphitheater. It seats probably about 1,500.
There you go.
That's too small.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is. I still think that's a telling thing. We can gloss over it. That's weird to me.
I don't understand the private party versus Hangman Page and Omega. I don't understand. And I get that.
He took a drink. He didn't pay his $12.
Yeah, I get that completely confusing, no backstory segment. I understand that, but like, are the private party, are they heels, or was Cowboy a heel?
It's
or?
a one-off. It's a one-off.
Why,
Who cares?
why Omega?
You don't need to switch heel and face for a one-off.
Doesn't Omega already have his thing going on right now? Why shouldn't we?
Because they're friends.
This is going to be about Kenny and Paige breaking up.
And remember,
this is the side story.
He hit him with a lariat.
Why not just have one of the private party guys?
No, because this is going to be better. Private Party is going to walk around like the cock of the walk because they beat Kenny and Adam next week. And Adam and Kenny are going to have beef. They're going to have a feud that falls out of this with Hangman eventually going heel. Yes.
Okay. You think it's going to be Hangman going heel, not Kenny?
No. Kenny can't stop fucking smiling and pointing.
Heel. The old Bullet Club leader.
Kenny. You get
Kenny.
nothing.
Yeah. Have him go heel.
Oh, well, he'd be less of a clown car then.
Private parties are heel. They almost to me, the female interviewer.
Yeah, good job, Bang Bus.
Anyway, we'll get to our marked out awards in Pettytown at the end here. Let's switch gears.
Okay.
Let's go to NXT.
Let's run through it.
All right, we're gonna run through it fast because this really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Match of the year turns out to be Gargano and Cole, 2 out of 3 falls.
Sure.
Women's War Game was second, and the Fatal 4-Way ladder match from TakeOver 25. That was Rob's match of the year. Was their third.
I have no problem with those 3 matches.
Very good matches.
Yeah.
No issues. Tag Team of the Year, Undisputed. Rob, say what you will, but 6 months for the Profits, 12 months for Undisputed.
I think it's too obvious, and I mean, let's just be clear here. I mean, they have booked Undisputed strong this entire year,
and so that's how they got the award.
Yeah, was there if this was a breakout, tag team of the year kind of, I think Profits get it obviously. I don't really see any other competition. Viking Raiders were there for a heartbeat.
Yeah, I was going to say Viking Raiders
for
like
the 3-4 months.
Right.
War Raiders, yeah, they
right after Mania they came up.
They came in, got the belts, and left. So
right.
I didn't.
They didn't even lose them.
I don't even remember who the other option was.
Forgotten Sons.
Oh,
and then they had
Forgotten Sons are still building
UK
themselves.
team.
Ascension were still on the main roster at that.
Yeah. So
God damn it, Brian.
Go ahead.
Male competitor of the year was Adam Cole. That was mine. Female competitor of the year was Shayna. Also mine. Both very good choices. You can say what you want about the booking, but I think they both held their own.
Those are great picks, Adam.
Yeah,
those are great awards.
Rivalry of the year is Cole and Gargano. That's what they gave it to. Future star. This one's weird.
Miles?
Dakota Kai.
That's another thing. I hate when they do this, when it's all future star. She's been doing it for so fucking long.
Yeah, this one's weird to me. She was injured most of the year. She came back. She had a great little aspect of the War Game story.
This is one of those awards where Brian, when we be having production meetings,
yeah,
and Adam's like, "What about this?" and we both go, "Shut up, dude. That's so stupid." I think future star of the year award is one of those where it's like, I would have looked at whoever said it and went, "No, we're not doing that."
Well, and everybody that was up for it shocked me. But thankfully, we then do
who else?
Takeover.
Who's up for it?
Just nobody important. Takeover of the year
It really
was War Games. There's only one of 5. And then Breakout Star. Okay, now this is the one that matters, not Future Star. Breakout Star. And this was the only award of the night that William Regal didn't hand out. Triple H handed this one out. And bask in his glory, Keith Lee.
I wish I could buy into the long term. I see where it's going to go.
If he doesn't go main roster, long term is awesome for Keith Lee.
Oh, if he stays on NXT, then it's all gravy.
Programs with Finn, programs with Ciampa.
He's a big guy. And I see him as being somebody who Vince would want to bring up.
Vince loves meat.
Yeah, but
why to dance with New Day?
They'd bring him up and then they'd absolutely fucking destroy him.
Why'd you gotta pick New Day?
Because Braun was dancing with him on fucking SmackDown Friday.
Could have been dancing with like Sanity or.
Shut up, Bang Bus. I don't understand how Shayna won that award. Bianca was so good in doing her job and putting people over. She clearly got robbed. That is. Totally,
that is 100%. Kayfabe, brother.
Yeah.
You absolutely said that.
No, I didn't.
Before the show,
you said Bianca should. She's definitely in consideration.
Is there something wrong with saying in consideration?
All right. Keith Lee should never leave NXT. Jason said
nobody should ever leave NXT. Don't you ever leave? I want to shake him like the kid in fucking Billy Madison.
Marked out award. If you want to give NXT them, you can. Marked out award for AEW. Brian, what made you mark out tonight?
How about Dustin hitting the Destroyer on the apron?
God damn you took mine.
I'm sorry, but that I didn't know he had it in him.
I didn't either.
Apparently everybody's doing Destroyers. We should try to do a Destroyer. Fuck.
I didn't either.
No, we should.
That was great. We'll do it on Rob.
Yeah.
He can be crippled. Wounded Warrior. Rob, what's your marked out?
My marked out award for AEW. Man, this is a tough one. I didn't really take notes tonight. Brian, by the way, took fabulous notes tonight. I'm very shocked.
Yeah, because he wanted to come correct against your dumbass.
I've made it a rule. I'm not taking notes on Wednesday nights. My marked out award is going to be Britt Baker's run to the corner. I thought it was fantastic.
That's when you marked out.
Yeah, marked out for that. Like, whoa.
I said the same thing, Berto. He says Street Profits held and were in contention from May to August. Undisputed, been there all year. I think that's what put them over.
Yeah, again, I agree with that. I don't think, as a general sense, for any awards like that, I don't think you can say, well, they have to be there the entire year. I think if they made a large enough impact within that year,
it's true.
That's
Agreed.
enough.
It's true, but Undisputed made that impact all year.
No, I don't disagree at all. I thought they were good.
Oh, yes, Jay. Thank you for bringing this up. Jay marked out when Chris Jericho tried to squeeze his fat ass in the Ford GT. Sykes says marked out. Dustin gets better with every time. Marked out. Darby doing the drop on Cody in the apron. Soji says that was good. I know Brian pointed out earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And the physicality of Mox versus Trent. This man is like a hardcore match in 3 days at Wrestle Kingdom. Bang Bus marked out there.
I marked out whenever they ruined that whiskey in that segment. That made me happy.
All right. Pettytown. For me, it's the main event booking, man. I said it at length, so I won't go into it again. And then for NXT Pettytown, no wrestling recap show. Why didn't you do that last week? You could have still taped or whatever, tape however programs, give your employees the time off. Last week should have been the year-end awards. This week, they should have gone head-to-head with some actual wrestling program. I'll be interested to see the ratings.
I mean,
because I bet nobody watched NXT.
They're giving their guys days off.
But last week, if you put an award show against AEW being the week off, you're going to have your audience automatically tune in. If you go head-to-head against this week, they have a New Year's wrestling show against your award recap show.
I guess they figure that there's a lot of stuff going on January 1st. There's didn't they have the fucking Winter Classic today too?
But that was this afternoon.
Yeah,
Brian.
I agree on this one. This is not my Pettytown, but I agree on this one that January 1st, you pretty much have a captive audience.
Yeah, we're not going out again. Yeah, we went out last night.
Nobody's going out tonight. I've been hungover all day long.
Yeah, you're old as fuck.
Yeah, I can't hang no more. I mean, it's been a miserable fucking day.
I can tell.
But I'm in the house. I'm gonna watch what's on TV. That's what today is. Then I'm gonna take my happy ass back to work tomorrow.
And last week you didn't have a choice.
So NXT, I think they should have came out strong tonight with a live show, some heavy booking, just fucking swinging for the fences. They definitely missed there.
Cody versus Darby, that's fucking strong.
I didn't say it wasn't.
We're talking about NXT.
I was talking about NXT.
Not coming out.
Oh, you said swinging for the fences. I thought you were.
Yeah,
I thought that was a knock at AEW.
No, I was saying NXT. The point was that NXT.
Okay, and the new. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive.
He's just
Brian,
like these
what's your petty
He's
town?
just like these fucking board rats. He doesn't fucking listen to what people say. He
Board
He already
rats.
has his opinion in his head, and he's just, I'm going to type it on the screen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we get it, Rob.
My petty town.
Yeah.
How about when the Bucks? It was a point that Rob always makes about no selling and shit. But when the Bucks and the Lucha, when they did, there was a super kick spot, and they both kind of no sold it, did kip ups, and I just that's my petty town.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be.
You're totally fucking right,
They
man.
shouldn't be doing.
Brian, for the love of God, will you just let me and my brother eat lunch? Good Lord.
Yeah, they don't
everything
want to
seem
sell. They
meaningless.
just want to eat lunch, right?
Well,
Right.
we talked about this. Was it that, there was another match we were watching? We talked about this where they just it was like no sell. I think it was when Omega was in or something. I don't know.
Probably.
But it's just like
No, it was with the Lucha Brothers. There was just like people kept jumping up.
I mean, if this is what you're gonna be, that's fine. Own it, but don't pretend that you're something else than that.
Fuck you on the board for the board rats comment from Jason. Petty Town for Jay. Britt Baker forgetting what to say and walking out of her face-to-face with the champ. Petty Town 6-man tag team matches in AEW. Almost all of these are spot fest. Stike says, yeah, because you got to feature 6 guys. Soji, Petty Town, MJF, and Cassidy not wrestling. Sorry, guys. Not buying your talent anymore.
I don't get it, dude.
And Jason says, no one throws punches anymore. It's forearm, 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 forearm.
Can I do my petty town?
Rob
Yeah,
wants to
go
do
for
his.
it.
I mean, I'm sorry.
I got you.
I guess the board just gets to go in front of me.
I thought you did your Petty Town.
No, I didn't. Thanks for listening.
You've been talking so damn much.
Well,
That's why no one
I have
listens.
opinions.
We turned you out.
My petty town is just a collectiveness, which is actually not even petty. I think it's kind of major. It's a collectiveness of all these real mistakes that they're making that they need to address, as we've talked about all show. Okay. Go ahead. You're good.
Like what?
Well, we talked about it all
Like
show.
what
I
I've
didn't know
talked
you
about
wanted to do it again.
No, I'm not. That's my petty town.
I got you.
Yeah, you
I
know
got
what I'm
you.
talking about.
I got you.
I don't want to go back into and get all the.
Berto says the board rats are greater than Bianca and Street Profits.
Hey,
Man, he is on you.
They do contribute more to the show. I will say that.
how's your wrestling career going?
Not well. Not well. I took a bump. I didn't sell it. Hey, I could be in AEW. I could be fighting the Lucha Brothers.
I was talking to Berto, but whatever. Yeah, you
Oh.
too.
I took a bump.
Okay.
You didn't take a bump.
All right.
Next week, we're going to be back Monday night. We will be covering Raw. We'll probably throw a SmackDown minute in there. We're getting closer and closer, fellas. I want to do this a little speed round here at the end, but we're getting closer and closer to our anniversary show, which is the Royal Rumble. We'll, of course, be doing the Tattoo Challenge, where we draw a number, and if that entrant wins, we have to get the tattoo of it. Anybody on the board who wants to participate, let us know. We will draw a number with you guys that night. That'll be in weeks to come. One of the other things we're going to be doing in weeks to come is what we're doing right now. We're going to slowly pick our picks to win the Rumble. Man and woman, just give me a speed round pick. Who's going to win it this year in your mind, Rob?
Want to see how it changes from week to week?
Yep.
Are we doing it right now?
Yep, we're doing it right
Who's
now.
winning the Rumble?
Yep.
Jesus, that's
Men's Rumble.
I didn't see that on the production sheet.
Start with men's.
I don't. Brian, do you already have answers for these?
I have
What-
I have one answer.
Let Brian go. 'Cause
I have an answer for the men's.
I didn't know that we were going to do this tonight.
2020, your 2020 Royal Rumble winner in the men's side. Dan it. Wettest man, Mr. Roman Reigns. He is my pick right now. He is the in all the betting odds, I
that's a
believe
safe
he is the
pick.
front runner.
Yeah.
It is a very safe pick.
It's hard
It is
to
a very
it's,
safe
It's
pick.
hard
Good
to
job.
argue.
Good job, Pick Seabiscuit. Good job.
Yeah, it's
Well,
hard to
you know
argue.
that's
One-to-one
what everything's
odds.
kind of.
I
You
know
asked me what I think, and
Yeah.
this is what everything from what I am gathering.
Okay. And do you have a woman, or do you want to wait on that?
I will let Rob go first.
Kevin
okay,
Owens.
Rob's going
Oh.
with Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
That's a good one.
I think they're trying to give him a year. They're just bad at giving guys years now.
I like both of those. I think it's time for AJ to be back in the title picture, and I would love to see him. I'm picking with my head or my heart there more than my head. Women's wrestler, I'm gonna kick it off here. Shayna Baszler. I think they're gonna set up Becky Lynch and Shayna at WrestleMania, and I think it starts with her winning the Women's Royal Rumble.
So I
That's
heard
really-
a little
that's really
birdie. It's
good.
going to be 10,
Really good.
10, 10. It's going to be
yes,
equal.
yes, it
Okay.
is 10-10-10.
Men's side too.
Mika Meach joining late,
10-10-10.
but he says Keith
Raw,
Lee wins.
SmackDown, NXT.
Yeah, it's 10 SmackDown 10. Yeah, it's 10-10-10. Like an old
I don't
long
like-
distance
I
number.
don't like that.
Why?
Because I like to have I don't think NXT should be necessarily as an active participant in it. I like the
They
idea.
should have debuts and surprises.
Yeah,
Sure.
debuts. Now I'm thinking, there's got to be 10 NXTs. So I like the idea where there's no structure to it, so you don't know if you're going to get legends, you don't know if you're going to get call-ups, you don't know if you're going to get one-offs.
But the other great thing, though, now, Rob, that you can do if you're smart, WWE's not, but in the weeks to come here, you can have fucking qualifying matches for all 10 spots.
Yeah.
You could have some kind of brand crossover on the Go Home show for number 30. They should do this fucking right if they're going to, and have legit qualifying matches. Imagine us sitting here, when we see Drew McIntyre is fighting Zack Ryder. We know Drew McIntyre's in.
Yeah.
Okay, but imagine if you see like AJ versus Ricochet. Which one of those guys would they leave out? You can really sell something here. I don't know if they'll do it.
Yeah.
Plus, one of the other options too is that if NXT wrestler, say an NXT wrestler actually wins, and they win the Royal Rumble, then they'll have a shot. That'll be like just a reason why to include, just logic, for logic's sake,
So
to
you
include an NXT match at WrestleMania. That
But
way, you can have them challenge for the NXT title at Mania. It makes sense because they won the match at Rumble.
Don't you get the main event Mania if you win Rumble? You're going to have
No, you just go after the title of your
Remember
choosing.
Berto was the curtain jerker. Berto Del Rio was the
yeah.
curtain jerker when he won the 40-man.
That's right. That's right.
We got
AJ.
And then it'll
got-
make the Rumble fucking mean something again if it makes an NXT wrestler benefit from it.
Well, that's why I think Shayna.
Right.
Drew and is the pick for Jason and Stike. I didn't get you guys. What's your women's pick?
Oh,
That's why I think NXT Shayna wins.
I think the women I think the women's pick is obvious. I think it's Charlotte, and only because she's been so underplayed for the last couple of weeks. If you want to build somebody, I don't like it. If you want to build somebody as a surprise, like, where did that come from? Like Randy did a couple of years ago. You're like, nobody fucking thought Randy. They didn't. He wasn't a hot.
My savior.
He wasn't a hot. Yeah, he wasn't a hot player on the card. Charlotte hasn't been a hot player on the card yet. She's been a role player, a utility player. I like Charlotte.
She was captain of the team at Survivor Series a
yeah.
month ago.
And Charlotte Flair has all these titles, but has not won the Rumble yet.
she's engaged.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Husband
saw-
number 3. She's trying to
Yeah.
catch up to Rick.
So go ahead. I'm good. I got Charlotte.
Oh, and she's
Here's
learning.
Charlotte.
I do want to. Old Sklenar here. He said Asuka. I think that's horrible. And besides, she's not even going to be in it. She's going to be fighting Becky.
Yeah, that's a terrible pick, Jason. I have to completely
I have
shit
a
on you.
pick that's going to give me nightmares, and probably you guys too.
I bet it's Jay's on the board, but go ahead and share it before
Ascension
I read
in a
his.
wig.
No, Ms. Ronda Rousey.
That's what Jay said. We haven't talked about Ronda. I mean, if she wants that rematch with Becky, she could show up just for the Rumble
Ugh.
and then talk for 2 months.
Be pick 30.
Yeah.
Or number 30 rather.
Yeah, she doesn't have to do anything but show up.
Well, let's hope for a torn ACL in the meantime.
So
Yeah.
Ronda comes back and Roman wins the Rumble. That in my world, those are my picks. That
Bang-
fucking sucks.
Bangba says Flair wins the Rumble to set up Flair and Becky again to give Adam more gray hair. Yeah, it's really showing in my beard. That's why I shaved
I
it.
think Natty wins.
Natty.
No.
What about Dana Brooke? Dana
I
Brooke
know.
and Batista.
Let's finish it up. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm all for Shayna, but I hope Ronda is one of the final 2 or 3 and she's in it. That's from Soji. We're going to close it down, guys. We ran a little bit over tonight, so no big deal there, but we had a lot to cover because AEW was worth it tonight. Next week, like I said, we got the normal show on Monday. We'll go head-to-head with some real wrestling, NXT and AEW, next Wednesday.
God.
Yes, thank God. For Rody Rob, for the Bionic One Brian, tune in next time. Same smart time, same smart channel.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Marked Out Podcast is produced and edited by U-Record Studios and is recorded live from Charlotte, North Carolina. Subscribe, follow, and listen to us live following WWE programming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Download the podcast by following us at podbean.com or subscribe on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. While you're there, go ahead and give us an honest and fair review and rating. Finally, if you have enjoyed our product and would like to see us grow, please donate to us by visiting the donation link below our live video, or you can donate via Venmo and Cash App at the handle Ravepro. That's Ravepro.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
my voice. Take it from the wise old Jew.